Hi guys, today I want to talk about some issues that might be preventing you from picking up in the club, or I hate the word picking up, or getting strangers to talk to you, or even getting them interested in you in the first place when you're out. Okay, so let's first talk about not smiling. If you're out at a nightclub or whatever, and you're creepily standing by the side of the dance floor staring at somebody, that is creepy. Nobody wants to approach you. Nobody wants you to approach them. You're just standing there staring at her, expecting some sort of a response, or her to come up to you, or her to give you a signal. Or it's not going to happen if you're just standing there creepily staring. For goodness sake, smile. And don't stare. I was at a club one time many years ago, and there was a guy over near the dance floor, and I was sort of a bit farther away from the dance floor. And I was having a conversation with the girl I was with, and he was having a conversation with the guys he was with. And every so often he'd turn around and he'd smile at me. He wasn't staring or sitting there waiting for me to approach him. He smiled, and after about maybe the third time of turning around and smiling at me, and I was smiling back, of course. So if someone smiles at you and you're interested, don't just stare at them. Smile back. So yeah, the third time when I smiled back, he took that as a sign of interest, and he came over to talk to me, smiling the whole way he was walking there. Great. Fantastic. But if you're standing beside the dance floor staring at someone, not smiling, they're probably not going to want to have a bar of you. And females, if you're on the dance floor dancing away, and you're standing there with a surly sort of look on your face, not smiling, and looking like you're sort of better than everybody else, probably guy's not going to approach you either. So when you go out clubbing, remember to smile. A smile stops you from looking like a killer, stops you from looking creepy. Don't stare, look over, look away, look over, look away. Every time you look, smile. And if you get a response off her and she's smiling back at you, especially if it's more than one time, that's when you could take it as an indication that she's interested. But if she's not, and if she says, oh no, look, I'm just trying to have a good time, to see it with my mate, or just accept it. You probably read a little bit too much into it. But generally, if she smiles back to you, you get a few smiles out of her, you could take that as a sign of interest. But don't stare. Don't stare without smiling too. Staring with smiling is creepy too. Okay, no staring, and make sure you smile. Now another one is, are you being obnoxious? I was at a club one time. I was dancing in the middle of the floor with my friend, and some surfy looking dude came up behind me and walked past me, and as he walked past me, he smashed into my left shoulder, and then stopped, a meter or two away from me, now facing me because he'd gone past me, and smiled at me like he thought he was really cool, smashing into my shoulder, that was a good way to get me to talk to him. You know what I did? I screwed my nose up and walked away, because if somebody has to smash into you and potentially hurt you, now I have dicky shoulders as well, so not a good thing to do to me. That's a really immature and childish way to get somebody's attention. I would expect that from like a 17-year-old, 16, 15-year-old, not someone in their 20s. So don't be obnoxious to get her attention. And don't be loud and stupid and carry on. Like, you can be a bit silly and a bit fun. That's always attractive, but check your obnoxiousness. Keep it to a minimum, and don't approach a woman by smashing into her or doing something really stupid and obnoxious. Just be normal, guys. Just be normal. And don't have cheesy pickup lines. Like, on what planet do they work? They might make the odd person laugh, but it's really a silly, stupid way to approach someone. Just be normal. If you find a woman attractive and you've gotten that smile and you decide to go up to her, then don't say some horrible, corny, cheesy pickup line. She's just going to think you're immature, inexperienced, and reading what to do out of books or getting ideas off your mates or something. Just be normal. Just say, hi, my name's Steve. What's yours? Like, is it really that hard? We don't need pickup lines. Don't use them. Okay, and the final thing I want to talk about when meeting strangers out at clubs and things like that. Don't talk about sex. Don't talk about boobs. Don't talk about anything like that. I knew a girl once who, she was a friend of a friend, and we were out at a sort of, like a sort of more upper class bar. And she was a bit bogany. She didn't really have a clue. It wasn't really her sort of place, and not the sort of people that she would generally gel with, I guess. And so she went up to this guy, and she sat next to him or stood next to him at the bar or something, and she said, this woman walked past and she had the cleavage out or whatever, and she goes, whoa, look at the boobs on her, or something like that. And it's like, on what planet would that attract a man to you? Don't talk about boobs and sex and all the rest of it. Don't be sexual. Don't chuck in sexual innuendos and say things that could be taken in either way, because you know you really meant it that way, so that they could either take it as a sexual way or take it as a normal way. Why do you need to do all that? Don't do it. It's creepy and it's lower class. And if you are looking for a relationship, that's a terrible way to go about it. Nobody's going to take you seriously if you're starting to talk about sex and stuff. So, look, just be normal. Talk about normal things. Speak to them the way you would if it was someone of the same gender. Like, I don't mean stereotypical stuff like a woman talks to a man about going shopping or handbags or something, which I'm gender stereotyping there. It's ridiculous. That wouldn't be something I'd want to talk about. But just give an example. Guys don't talk about rugby and soccer and all the rest of it. Talk about gender neutral things that you would talk to just a friend about. So, hi, my name's Steve. What's yours? Oh, hi, my name's Margaret. What kind of things do you like to get up to on the weekend? You know, this is not probably the next sentence, but you know what I mean. I'm getting to it. I like to go jet skiing, or I like, to go out to lunch by the water or something. How hard is it to talk about normal things? Do not talk about sex. Do not talk about gendered things. Don't get into religion or politics or anything like that on a first meeting, not even on a first date. So just pretend that person is a friend. Speak to them how you would if you wanted to get to know someone to be their friend. That's all you have to do. Okay, guys, that was a nice short one. Just, a few things that you should avoid when you're out at the clubs and you're trying to meet somebody. So anyway, keep an eye out for my new videos. There's quite a few in the pipeline. But for now, from Aussieland, farewell.